Dude, like, you're trying to tell me there's a God? Nothing works. Everything breaks. My alarm would have stopped my recording. And then I went back to... That's karma. That's what you get for not believing in Jesus Crisp. Jesus is crispy. I'm gonna just segregate the chairs. Alright, they made it a thingy, and I was just, you know, super empathetic towards Will Smith's plight of having an immense degree of optionality at an early stage in his life where he met critical, unbelievable amounts of success. So you should feel bad for him instead of all the other people who've gone through very similar stuff in the past and didn't have all this stuff afterwards to be able to indulge and then pull themselves out. God, even less of an excuse, damn.
He says it was love at first sight. The two say Will did not have an affair, but Will was head over heels for another woman that wasn't his wife. We sat down at the baked potato and talked. There was a really unique, beautiful power. We had that moment and we connected, but I was married.
Sorry, what does that mean, connected? You just felt intense emotions because someone made you... Can you explain that? No. All the people I've asked who, when I try to, it's like they can't explain. They just feel things. But they want those feelings to be like, to be intrinsically meaningful and profound, when in all reality it's just mindless. It's just chemicals shooting off in your brain. You could technically connect with anyone if you really, really want to. You know, there's always going to be conflict classes and everything, but clearly, like, and there's always going to be differences, always been, but if the reasons as to why people can get together are random and arbitrary, which are, and they're motively motivated, so they are random and arbitrary, which most mean is redundant, same thing, then the reasons why people wouldn't like each other are the exact same thing. If your emotions are what's causing you to like someone, your emotions are causing you to dislike someone. For whatever reason, both ways. Yet you want to act as if there's something profound, there's like a depth, or there's something, like, that could technically be found anywhere. It's just a question of whether or not you want to manifest it and believe in it. It's like a religion. It's faith. I love you, God! Believe that somebody loves you for who you are, even though you can't. Nobody does. I'm sorry. People are things to you. We're whats. You are what you are to another person, not who. People will fill in the who themselves up here based on the ways that you make them feel. Nobody really knows what's going on up here. Nor is it the thing that they use to determine whether or not they like you, even if they could see it, right? How many serial killers ran like normal, everyday lives, right? And then suddenly, oh crap, he killed like 70 people and took pictures of their corpses and would tie himself up and take pictures of himself in the victim's positions. BTK killer. Meanwhile, he was a Christian family man. So maybe the things that you think, or the things that you feel as a result of what you receive from, you know, this emotion that you get from when you interact or that you attach to someone. Maybe you should doubt those, you know, before you just go fucking all in. Remember, like, I'd argue that love's more dangerous than heroin. It's an ingrained opiate in your brain. You have to know how to use it, but most people don't know how to use drugs. They're just, people are fools. If you're gonna dip your toes, like, you gotta, like, adjust. You gotta know what it's like. You gotta understand it. You have to know what you want. To go in with a specific intention. And you have to have integrity for it to work. Now, granted, you having integrity, that really doesn't mean anything because it takes two parties, you know, one person. Like, relationship will succeed if you have integrity, right? And if everything lines up in a proper way, and if, like, you get that 1% chance that everything is, you know, entirely reciprocal. But just because that's there doesn't mean it's going to work. Remember, people are random, mindless, disgusting monkeys, and we're just gonna flail and do whatever the hell. Just don't go into that, right? You're dooming yourself, you're damning yourself to suffering, and more suffering than what could have been had you just sat down and, like, thought. And just don't say stuff to yourself like, this is the one, this is the love of my life, this is my true love. That means whatever the hell you want it to mean. So, given that this means this way to you, and that there's no meaning in the world, and that you're the one that has to give it, when that threatens the very thing that you believe, the very thing that you picture manifested in your brain, the emotions and such, you will be reminded that what you feel does not matter. And you need to sort of acknowledge that, and accept, and embrace, and anticipate, and react in accordance to that. Otherwise, you just get more, you'll slap someone at an award show. What would that look like, the everyday equivalent? Slap your kid's teacher while he's up on stage, giving a speech or something. Keep my child's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to.
Funny enough, this wasn't the first time Will fell in love with someone that wasn't his wife. He admits in his memoir that he fell in love with his co-star, Stockard Channing, while filming 1993's 6 Degrees of Separation.
Falling in love. Nobody knows what that means. It's these words that people use to try to, like, legitimize what we feel. Oh my goodness. He fell in love. It's true. It's destiny.
What's my destiny, Mom?
It's an air purifier. Cool. I didn't even know this was here. Oh no, it's the, sorry, what was I saying? The words, they try to imply profoundness. Falling in love, true love, love at first sight, my neck, ow. The more you fantasize, you create fantasies surrounding reality, the more you're just speeding through on your NASCAR until the brick wall hits you, until you slam into one, right? Because you just weren't aware that it existed, because you were too busy speeding, too busy feeling. I skipped again.
Will's unfaithful tendencies are not that surprising considering he was a 6'2", 25-year-old movie star, television star, and rap star, but it was an early sign that maybe marriage wasn't for him. Will claims he never would have divorced his wife Cherie if she didn't initiate it first. We were at the Palm and I remember I had to get up from dinner when I had a realization that I wasn't with the person I was supposed to be with. Will rushed to the bathroom in the Palm and broke down in tears. His marriage eventually reached a breaking point and Cherie filed for divorce on Valentine's Day in 1995.
Wait, what was the thing? What was the thing? Will Smith did not want to divorce his ex-wife Cherie Zampino before she hurt his feelings with one brutal question. Okay, so what was the question? What was the one question Cherie Zampino asked Will Smith? That was the question. So you were going to make somebody stay with you who doesn't love you? So Will Smith was just, he had the Ghiblies for them rich and famous actresses. Was that her saying that to Will Smith in retaliation to him, like, his waning feelings towards her? I'm confused. I mean, they don't do it in the they don't go over it in the video. That's funny, though. I don't know who's where and when. Presumably, I'm just presuming based on the way that you guys are saying it, that Cherie said it to him, but there must have been something that ignited. Especially someone as emotionally inept as well, because that freaking previous headline, right? Oh, she'd said something that made... Come on. Like, I bet you acted in ways that reaffirmed your waning emotions towards Cherie. That they probably picked up on, or... Like, there's not enough context for me to... But, like... Of course, that would make sense, right? It's funny. So you compare Will Smith to his previous rationalizations, oh, it wasn't me, to now he's not changed. He hasn't improved as a person. It's really funny. But it's weird. He almost tries to, in accordance to the like, I don't know, like, from what I gather, going to see therapists and going to do all sorts of various things. And point is, he had some rationalization for the motivation as to why they broke up. And he also had a rationalization as to why he assaulted someone, both of which seem to... There's a word I had in the tip of my dick, but I didn't. Alleviate the fault, to absolve it, right? To seemingly absolve it, right? Because he couldn't even apologize for being a loser. And yes, you are a loser if that's what you think is okay. It doesn't matter how much money you have, it doesn't matter how many people see you, how many know you, the things that you do, the life that you live. You're a loser. If you're a lower type of person in terms of, now remember, everything's worthless, right? So you can't really necessarily bib in an objective lens, but through a societal lens, through what should be right, you're a lower person if that's what you think is okay. And then afterwards, when you can't even, this doggo. And he would say things that would seemingly absolve himself of the fault. Do you have something to say?
Oh, fuck.
You gotta cool it. I get you're bored, I understand. But maybe you can bark in like 45 minutes. Just give it like I could start a timer, I can give you a watch or something. Then you can start barking. But I gotta get through this video. I have like, so much, hey, you hear me, be quiet. Or you can just sit around here, that's fine. We're 2 minutes in.
Cherie filed for a divorce, rightfully. She called herself my placeholder wife. She said that she just had to be there to hold the position of wife in Will Smith's perfect life. The most important takeaway from this is Will's willingness to remain in a marriage that he was not emotionally invested in for the sake of maintaining his image to the world.
Was that the reason? I mean, there's usually a bunch of, I don't know, he didn't have I don't know if he had a kid at the time with this. Regardless of that, I mean, that's one reason, potential reason. He had a kid, so keep it together. He wants to maintain his image. I think, because clearly image is not I mean, granted, that's one other thing. He wants to maybe go for something when it comes to the way he thinks he's perceived, but... Hey! Get back here, boy! Oh my god. She's like, I think I hear movement so I can make sounds at it. He could think he's doing some stuff in the public eye to maintain his... And maybe that's what his intention is, but I'm just pulling stuff out of my butt here. What if he did it just because he felt like he's supposed to? Right? I mean, he got married because he felt like he was supposed to. That's a cultural thing that's enforced or reinforced through societal standards. But like, this is what you have to do. So maybe he's like, oh, that would be incorrect of me to break off marriage because marriage is a sanctity definition. The state or quality of being holy,
Here's the definition of sanctity: the state or quality of being holy,
Is there a way
sacred,
for me
or
to know?
saintly.
Can I turn that off? Not that you recognize my voice. You hear me. I don't want to hear you. This holy, it's just like, you know, it's supposed to be profound and intrinsically meaningful, but it's worthless. It doesn't mean anything. And it causes problems. Pro advice, never get married. Like, honestly, you need some societal status. You need some tangible product to be a display, a representation of your affections. Sorry, your profound connection. It's just ways that people try to make it seem as if, like, things matter and the things they do matter and their lives matter and things they feel matter. But nope, it's all worthless. Remember, humans built a world that is preying upon that. So if you give into that system, prepare to deal with the ramifications of that system, especially marriage.
Hey, if you recently got married, watch this.
Pro tip, don't get married. Just have a partner. Have partners, don't have a partner. Do whatever you want. Just don't be a dumbass. Like the Smith, like the Grift. Not this guy. This guy's fine. He's the documentary guy.
Something that would not change with Jada. Jada obviously was interested in Will, but her own morality tried to convince him to fight for his family and make things work.
I don't know. Again, these are all headlines. This is what the information that's being relayed through the very people that we're trying to gain this information about to other people who both his job to sensationalize and also to make them look a certain way. So I wouldn't use headlines as it totally could be real, maybe, but you won't know that just based on them telling you that. All the stuff they say at the Red Table Talk, it could all be legitimate, but even if it's legitimate to the person, right, who's telling it and it happened to those things, or the way that they describe it, the way that they get the information out, all of these things, even if they're going in with a intent, like pure intention, they could still get it wrong with like the account of all this stuff that has happened and everything. Granted, it's better than nothing for us to build a narrative over all the stuff that's happening, over a celebrity failed monogamy. This is monogamy. This is the thing that everyone says works and is what you should be doing. But as you can see, polyamorous tendencies, because that's kind of nature. Especially, and I don't know if I went over this already, but this is a direct example of the failings of that type of archetypal procedure, you know, monogamy. Because these people are in specific tiers of society that grant them immense optionality with no effort, right? That would exacerbate the turmoil, or any potential turmoil. Because there's even more ways for it to like not work out because of the, you know, human emotion. I mean, if love's just a blind emotion, then temptation's a blind emotion as well. You guys would all act as if people act in ways that make it seem as if they rank them like procedurally, like structurally in a fair hierarchical fashion. No, mindless crap that goes all around. I noticed I kept like in the previous videos like on my nose. I don't know what that is. I also noticed I say right a bunch, right? Right? You know, I'll say you know a bunch, like, right? You know, like, right? You know, no, red light. I skipped again.
However, Will proceeded with the divorce and contacted Jada the moment he signed the divorce papers, saying, "I literally walked right out from signing the divorce papers and I called Jada."
Also, if you never get married, you never have to get divorced and go through all that. It's easier to just step away. Because Everything's finite. All that stuff comes to an end. Whether you break up, whether someone leaves, whether someone loses interest, whether someone dies, everyone's replaceable. God, life is fucking brutal, dude.
I said, "Hey Jada, what's up? It's Will." She said, "Hey, how you doing?" I said, "Good. Are you seeing anybody?" She said, no. And I said, "Cool. You're seeing me now."
I'm just a Chad. You want to get with some Hollywood actor? I don't feel bad for these people. Is that dialogue? Is that how that is probably how people speak to each other. And this is the dialogue coming from people that we idolize in a societal context.